Alright, we're gonna go ahead and begin the Greatest Attorneys Chronicles Part 3. Hopefully we can beat it tonight. Continue. Have some ginger ale. Good after a workout. Like number 1:14 p.m. Noon. They're not beating the whole game tonight. Hopefully just this part. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense. But why the sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant? And a woman, no less?
Oh man, this guy's going to get smacked.
The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
How you doing, hey, Lady K? Time to get creepy lady arrested? We're gonna get her arrested tonight. Thanks to Susato.
Yes, I fully understand. I asked for only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
He is.
Heh. You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But,
Your Excellency, I like how the Excellency has not agreed with him like once.
I am most grateful.
Oh, she's gonna be on my side.
Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English? Yes.
It's Jazia Brett's research.
The English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she?
So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
Report how handsome you are. She's saving your bacon, don't question her. I'm trying not to. Yeah, she's definitely saving me here.
I'm afraid I don't know. Haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh,
no, of course not.
Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting.
Curare? What's that? I've never heard of that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
So that's why she becomes my my partner.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
This is wonderful, thank you. Report details of an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at Yume University. Ah, so she has the answer of the poison.
Goodbye then, and good luck.
I like her. She's very, like, smart and respectful. Did the whole bow and everything. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Ask the prosecution and defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... Give it to... Okay, I'll give it to him.
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Rinosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance.
Yes, I know.
Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. But can they accept it like that? Just accept it into the... I guess because of the level of law right now. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you would grace us with your presence a little longer.
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid I don't have time for this. It's not so very long until tea time.
I have plenty of... Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you treat that as an order. Really now? Still countryman. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. Them animu characters. Ugh. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel. What is this? God, there's a marker on this. What is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Can I look it over before I give it to him? Go. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis, the entire body, and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effect occurs when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Needs her own book. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, believe that toxin could have applications as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. If you think about it, it's possible that if he had this poison, he probably felt that burning on his arm before he died. Which also means he suffocated to death. That's kind of cruel. That went really dark if you think about that.
Yes!
Extended. Miss Jazio Brett. We understand you are studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. There's always an awful death. It sounds like it's horrible. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. Oh, if it's instant, that's better, but oof.
What? What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done. Wouldn't have done?
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. Doesn't exist. Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What?
That was a quick what. Order. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist?
Yaddy.
According to the report authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it's produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Okay, so at least he didn't suffer before he died. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Got nothing to say.
Trumpery. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
He suffered being shot by an arrow. No, nothing shows that he was shot by an arrow, but alright. He got shot first by a gun, and then the arrow hit him in his gunshot wound. That's how it got into his skin, or into his blood. That's what happened. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Was it to the knee? Maybe. I mean, I still think he could have ingested it, maybe. He just had surgery done in his mouth. It was an open wound from the dentist. So if he had drank in the curare, it would have entered his bloodstream still. I think that's what it is. Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice Professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. I'm not very smart. I'm just kind of smart.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. With a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuya. That's just paralysis. But the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
I was saying before, yeah, it's horrible. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. How smart some lawyers are today. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? To hit her to unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts. You think you're so clever, but you...
It is you who must be taught.
Of course. Dear lady.
Alright, listen now. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, feeling is mutual. Why is she country sounding again? I love the country sounding. Whatever do you mean? I try to keep the voices the same if I can. Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Let me guess, she's gonna take a sip of it? Yep. Probably harmless unless it enters your bloodstream, so she's taking a gamble, but she's gonna drink and die might. Let me prove it's not a poison! So she just takes a sip and just falls over. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? For an English woman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers. I'm not going to prison. I'd rather die than go to prison. Just drink this poison. Wait! What are you doing? Tastes like Bud Light. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Have that pinky out. She couldn't die. No one says a word. Except for Kazuya, who's just sitting there with his freaking headband blowing in the wind. Rest in peace. He will not be missed. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? Y'all look quite stunned. So, no curare. Bottle was clean, is that what you're saying? Has to enter the bloodstream directly, remember? Yep. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Good. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? Just proving her point yet. Roaster, she finna get roasted. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady, we are most gratified of all the assistance you have given. He's like, it's over for him. Doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? 20 more years of her time. She is snobbish. I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation in the next party I attend in London. Yeehaw! There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. I was thinking, come on, Rinosuke. We all have clues now. The bottle of water, it contains poison. The culprit did put curare in Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
From the burn that it entered, or did he eat the stuff? My guess, he had dental. He had some dental done before it, and he couldn't eat solid foods. And I don't think the burn did it to him, since he would have been in a lot of pain. My guess is he just drank it regularly and entered his bloodstream through the open work in his mouth from the dental.
Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that the bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drink the water from it.
That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think.
I think that's how it would do. And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
Oh, quiet again. I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposed poison water unscathed? It's going to be in the notes. The answer is...
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
The music didn't change, so...
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. Okay, it's not over yet. I have to direct them to the actual part. You'll direct us to the pertinent section council. Which section of this report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Oh, jeez. Oh, I can look at it real quick. Okay, special characteristics. Mental work. It's not over yet. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Council? Well, it sounds as though the indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. No, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seems a little strange to me, though. It all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has a terrifying poisonous effect, or effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. You know she's got. But she's going to still try to get away with it, because they're going to say, well, how did he get an open wound? And you knew that you can make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Even my swan, whose thing is angry. And we're, come on, gonna come. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me? A lawyer?
Swan is a lie. It is. It's a lie.
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how it possibly...
Geez, keep your mouth shut over there. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts you read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that this effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? A snack for this now? Go get a snack. So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? I like how they forgot already. That's right. Good gracious. I love the judges in all the Phoenix Wright games, or Ace Attorney games. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Order. Order in court. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they'd be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes. This curare poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
Oh, something's going on here. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. The murderous intent inside him. Sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. Anger. It's so intense. Almost rage-like. Yeah, it's anger. Almost rage-like. More than anything else, animalistic desire. Take down my prey. You're gonna kill her. Oh no. There it is.
Objection.
He did it. I don't think so, Miss Chaziel Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. He did the thing. Well, there's schoolboy. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we know now, this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Where is it?
Take that.
Hey, back, I wish I could. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Oh no. They think they got me. Like that again. Ah, he's going to. The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But, what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you have just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. That was it. I got it. So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Uh-oh. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oh, shoot everyone? Oh. Did she just stab the guy? Okay, then she took the bottle.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
She's gonna drink the whole thing. Yeah, she's going crazy.
No! I mean, it could just flip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
Can't they just still get the liquid off the floor? No! What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishwoman. She just smashed that bottle. And the Supreme Court. What a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from the broken bottle as possible at once. Yeah, it is more incriminating. You're going to jail.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire.
I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully.
You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can't thump the bench and shout. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid you'll never know, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not.
Yes, you. Quickly grab a paper towel. I like how the The other guy is just staring. The waiter is just like, why? And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? I mean, probably some liquid still left on the glass that is shattered. That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using karare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhito for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Yeah, we still don't have the gun, I don't think. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused Ryunosuke Naruhito. Unbelievable. How can this be happening? Want her dead? We had her, but now, is she really gonna get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So, if there are any clues left for us to use now... Deserve that swan? You hope it's pooping on her? They must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Maybe she has it in the swan. The swan shot him. That's what happened. It's the swan. Gotta arrest the swan. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. One is going to jail. This one is a live gun. Kind of like Kazooie. Just like poops out bullets instead of eggs. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Did the steak have the poison? Oh, there's blood. Is Kazuya right? Some of the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Banjo's all makes sense. Banjo. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? I mean, we're gonna have to say there is another clue. It could be, it could also be his blood. If we can get Karare. So it should be in his blood, as I said. Well, maybe. Yeah, it should be in his blood. You have no other option yet. Actually, Kazuya, I think I might have something. Think back over everything I saw. I think I might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off the Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. Been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss. My memories of that day. That's a weird way to say that. Whatever it is could be the key arriving at the truth about all this. Put it together quick. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Winston's real killer must have been is... I mean, there's blood.
Take that!
Inspector Hasanaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still in shock that she grabbed the bottle. So miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute.
Where are you going with...
Shut up!
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Is she questioning him instead? That bird brain? Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it to the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Going to jail. Happening. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Jaziel Brett. I beg your pardon.
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment the entire career in the police force has been leading to. Vector? You mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that he had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all, in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. Point, please. You're gonna get it. We must examine it now. I'm gonna do the point one more time. Well, if not this case, then the other cases. Making point, I wish I could. Inspector. The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector. The blood man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. But it's not going to be there because she wiped it off. Or somebody wiped it off. Stick a fork in her, she's done. I don't know if she's done yet. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! There's no blood. No, I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate, but there's got to be a reason it's not there. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. Swan. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
She drank the blood. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Not over yet.
This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Oh, I got the steak now. The meal must be ordered for lunch. It was removed from the victim's table after the incident. The plate I saw... How did I saw? Just a figment of my imagination? Look at the steak real quick. That's some good steak. Showed the evidence arrest her. There's this thing. There's something on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. This is the symbol of Le Carnaval, is it? Find anything out of place. Hold up. Turn small blue when you find something? I guess so. Yeah. What? I wasn't expecting that. Not a cow, it's a cat. We've solved the case. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. The hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was from the Hoei Kanban? Willy Wonka golden ticket. We win. The case just is over. We're going to Willy Wonka World. Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. Isn't the first time today there's been a talk of Ho and Koban? That's the coin the guy was missing. Wonka World, I love this game. So that was the coin the one guy was looking for. I've heard of pearls before swine. I've never heard of bullion in a bullion. I don't think you ever will again. It's extraordinary though. This means... I never expected to find a precious... I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. And it's from the Hoei era too. That would make it really quite valuable. Well marinated in juice as well, look. What are you thinking of, eating it? Give me the chocolate factory. The ticket to winning this case. No, but the next time I order steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have gotten the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. Koban coin underneath the steak. There's only one logical explanation. Plate has been changed out. Probably. Yeah, it's probably the other guy's steak. This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? Bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Wait, you gain 200% confidence? It was taken by mistake? It was taken by mistake. This plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more necessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett. We must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I'll not give a ruling until I've completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. You stay good. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. He flipped around. Was the bull head on the other side of the board? Possible, but I think the blood would still be shown if it was. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? Underneath the steak. Huh? What in the world is this? Okay, they're repeating this. Yeah, okay, we already went through this. Koban coin. Points. It's Mario, he did it! I really do like his comment. His heart's gonna race every time underneath the coin. Wait, why are we back here? Probably because I pressed A instead of X to say that. Get to it. Okay, yeah, I just have to present it. There we go.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's...
Hey. Koban?
What on earth? Hoey Error 1 at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant in the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
They give it back. What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. Coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Yeah, it's not her steak. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath the piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. Can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Kaban just happened to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
It's good. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person that it can belong to. The owner of the Kaban that was found under the beefsteak is...
Oh man!
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and the owner of Razete, Kurakuda-san. It's Kazuya's coin. Whoops. You're as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. They agree on something.
The gunshot interested me. I was far too busy on the floor.
Busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoyera Koban, my prized coin.
Does he whatever is any better? And oh, look at the meat juice on it. In this Hoyera Koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No. Please, why would Kuda-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
But with billions of yen is the prize of eating yummy steak. Which is why I'm asking to bring Kurikata-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Are we getting to it? Man, this is the longest first case in the Phoenix Wright game I've ever played. Can't believe we've come back around to that pair again. But I have a hunch. Strong hunch. That if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. All this talk of steak is making me hungry. Steak. That kid's still beating up his father. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ado? Or Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police.
We were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man and trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kurikata-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever...
Wah! Yes, that's it, that's the one. The very one, the exact one that is. The resplendent, splendiferous Hoy treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. It can't be.
That's his coin. As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat juices.
Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly it could have fallen there by accident. Which means... You want to kill him in his misery? Somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing?
The old man looks like he's ready to kill someone. Who wants to talk? Excuse me. Did I say something? Maybe. Killing his father. Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Asanaga. I mentioned this early on the trial, but... Electric Boogaloo. I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. And that baby is. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in undercover, is it? My son. Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. Unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at the work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Kurikata Koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who was the despicable scoundrel that stole Kurikata's son's Koban and hid in its stake? I personally think it's Aisa Nosa. I mean, but you might want to point the finger at her. I'm gonna go with my gut. The baby's not a representative on here, so it can't be the baby. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be Aisa Nosa. It could be because of the baby, though. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Aisa Nosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster? I stole that Kaban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? They're accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all this, you're right. Just look at that face. The face of a criminal. That's the point of these games. Sometimes they can get outlandish and it's awesome. It was the baby.
The baby did it. It was all him. He forced me to. He's got a gun to me right now.
You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just blaming the baby.
Clippity, clappity, 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 clappity.
Surprised the mustache didn't get ripped off. Nippon Imperial Sergeant. Sergeant Issei Nosa, prepare to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. The baby was ripping his mustache off. Do any of you know? The extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe. Those is true colors. I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you're stealing things at the restaurant. The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his Koban. Yes, sir. He was an easy target, Mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. Veritable phantom thief you are. That's what I was thinking. He eats too much steak. That's why he doesn't have money. Because every 3 days he has steak. I was all set to leave the steak. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. And shot. Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Don't look deep. Okay, so he hid the coin in underneath his stake, and she switched the plates. Especially if people with money are there. Yeah, people who pay a lot for that stake.
This is ridiculous.
That's her talking.
Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all.
Gonna bow? Yep.
May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency?
Indeed. The theft of the Kaban was clearly perpetuated by this baby-settled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Everyone's stake. Of course it is.
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it?
Well. Oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well. Now that all the questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Do it. Do the finger. Rinosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett parting words there got me thinking. She's a special, yeah, but they weren't able to relate the case to her yet. I hate the curtsy. Killer Jerry. Can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid just one last time. There's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Rinosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? Sheer nonsense of such an idea outstands me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. She said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm trying to think now, what's the contradiction? Not the steak and just... Like it's a contradiction. I'm gonna need some evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's works truly are contradictory, where's the evidence to prove it? Uh-oh. Picking up the steak? It has to be. Wait. Oh, I didn't mean to click it. I meant to actually look at it, not click it. The photographer got the scene occurred. What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. Knife and forks. Fork and knife at the steak. Yeah, that's what I saw in the. That's what I was expecting in the photo. I meant to take a closer look at it. Looks like they did use a fork and knife. Well, this was supposed to be her steak, but if it's the same one, that's it. It looks exactly like the steak that's been eaten without a fork and knife. Yet in the picture, it clearly shows that the fork and knife are used. But it has teeth marks in it, like it wasn't cut. The jagged edges, it looks like mouth marks. Yeah, the signs of the steak isn't used by cutlery. But she said she would eat it with a fork and knife, so that's not her steak, is what they're showing. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? There's no cuts in it.
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. That's how you eat steak. Jab it and then rip it tear. Yeah, same here. I don't always use a fork and knife. My parents would get so mad at me about that too. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Notice what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
Then take a good look at the steak, in particular the edges where it's been eaten.
Teeth marks.
As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Oh. Oh no. It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
What is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't... Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course. This will be over in a blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to...
I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacle samurai relic.
Of course.
She's sweating.
Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I saw somehow seemed to have disappeared. Most importantly, evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. 30 years jail for murder. Might be a whole lifetime. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. What exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Getting angrier. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been... what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Talk more, bird lady.
This is absurd. The trials were in several hours already.
And you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward?
There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request for the defense in this trial. Uh-oh. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? It's been so long, he's right. Yeah. Who has the conclusive evidence in this case? I mean, I'd imagine it'd be him if it's just his teeth marks, proving that's his steak. I'm gonna go for my gut. Try it.
Take that!
Counsel. I'm disappointed. This is likely your last chance. I would have expected you to be taking it more seriously. Might be wrong. It seems you need. Yeah, it's wrong. You got a penalty. Now we've come this far. There's nothing more to say. There's one person in particular who's provided us with various pieces of evidence already. You have plenty of clues that point to the right answer. I mean, probably it might be the detective if he has everything. This is the last act in this trial, and you have a center stage, Ryunosuke. Well, I'm feeling... Okay, here we go again. I mean, even if I had to guess them all, it would be everything. You think it's the detective? Well, since that rules that person out, it's either going to be the detective or I'd say maybe even the professor. I'll give the detective a shot. The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hasanaga. What? I have it? Oh, you're right. Changed. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told me the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping on my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Kurata-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. He did it, yeah.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake?
And shoot. Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the stake that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense. The plate that was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Oh, but if you took all the evidence, they would still have it. He brought the wrong steak, yeah. I'm sure they would have seen the blood on the other plate if he had it, though. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor does she have any opportunity to steal the coin.
Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
And I think that's the thing, is they're saying Detective Hasanaga has the plate still. In the middle of this case. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? It's in my stomach.
Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over.
I mean, I kind of got that part, but does Hasanaga have everyone's steak?
You did switch the plates?
Well, after it happened, the He actually switched the steaks himself. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced that he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So, if he had a chance to... Here's my question, and it's kind of it might be a loophole. If he himself had a chance to switch the steak, why would he switch plates with someone... with near a dead person, and not just like the old guys? And be like, oh, he must have put his own coin, or must have fallen his own coin underneath the steak somehow. But he switched steaks with someone that just got murdered. When the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Put my steak in front of a dead person. That was most likely gonna be to have the spotlight on it. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing. Maybe the old guy wasn't eating steak? It's possible if they were the only two eating steak. Get a lot on his plate, okay. Oh man, but that's like the worst place to want to switch your steak is with the person that just got murdered. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what I had to be done. Everything is unbelievable. This sergeant guy really screwed everyone over. However, fear not, prosecutor sir. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform, that is all I did, sir. Maybe giggling. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant knows to switch the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak, the plate it was on, back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hasanaga. Yes. Early in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant. Oh, so you took everyone's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both, or I guess just both. I don't remember that part. She's eating her mask. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. There it is. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Yeah, I don't remember him saying that. It might have been on the very first video, and it's been some time since then, so that's probably why I forgot. The masked lady, it's gonna taste better than the prison food. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat can't have the slightest bearing on the case. Yeah, but it's yours. No, you're wriggling your way out of you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. No? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Blinks, he remembers. Let's see what's under that mask. You want to see her eyes? Probably will. You remember? I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. Not mine. That's pure evil. It's gonna be like Professor Layton's eyes, where it's just the two little black dots. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. The man through her eyes. Let us not prolong this any further, Inspector. You will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir. Alright, should be the end of the case. Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak in its plate. Yep, there's clearly blood on it. How did he take that plate and not see the blood? Eyes like this out the threes. Please feel free to examine it. I mean, we don't really have to examine it to see the blood and that it's cut with a knife. Bloodstain. It's clearly visible, look!
Yes!
It's now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. And when again we do. How did the inspector miss the blood that was clearly visible? In other words, is it possible for Naruhara-san to have shot the victim?
Well, it can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Jazio Brett. It's you! That's the end. He did it. Uh-oh, this one died. Maybe he's too used to it since he keeps spitting out blood. He thought it was his own blood. He's just like, whoops. Didn't mean to get blood on that. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No. No. No! Get them eyes. Uh-oh. This one's in attack mode. But the fly for head. Yeah! It's more screaming. Ah! Oh, it's giving birth to baby chicks. Ah! Oh, she died. And there's baby chicks everywhere. They're so cute. Please excuse my little outburst. Briefly lost my composure. That's what I'm wondering. A strong bird. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. It wasn't me, and starts running. A living birth, yeah. Whole different type of bird. It was I who took the professor's life using Karare. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So he planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Yep, she lost. She admitted it now. Because Karare is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only need to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water and it would all be over. I would place the steak I ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone. Leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. All because he came over to say hi. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. I planned to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt?
I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. Then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which he had presumably placed on the floor. You're gonna get a lot of that in this game. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. There it is. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Not only is she gonna have to eat prison food, but she's probably gonna have to eat Japanese prison food, which is gonna be a different type of food that she's used to. Your Excellency. Yes. I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? You're on the spot. Did you call murder a misdemeanor? You did. I shall call on you. If lying about this ain't gonna get me out of here, maybe Booty will. Thank you. A good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me. Naruhodo-san. I mean, he doesn't have a reason to. I already did. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement?
This can't be. Katsuchi Achi does not lose.
Tried to frame him. Don't bring don't drink anything she brings. And it snapped.
Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You'd better start getting used to tough oppositions.
Arrgh, Minosuke Naruhodo.
Yes? Achi lost her. He did lose.
Insult to the Achi family name, will never be forgotten.
You've become conceited with age, Counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. Gonna pull out a sword? The way of the world. May you never forget that. Wow. He just gave him a ton of disrespect. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Achi clan will never measure up to Naruhodo clan. Cut off his top knot. Huge disrespect, and Kazuya's right. Oh, I knew it. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as a sort of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo-san, present an excellent case. Thank you, Your Excellency. Use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will begin to bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits. What will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuya Sagi. Yes. I went really deep there. After this trial, you are to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything in the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission to impose upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? I hope so. I don't know. This is my first time playing through this. And I haven't looked at anything, so none of it's spoiled for me. Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhado. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. So nervous in the face. I wouldn't doubt it. I think he's going to be the final opponent. You can't have an ancestor of Phoenix and an ancestor of Miles Edgeworth and not have them go at it at some point. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I think you're right, though. I think you're right. I hereby find the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhado. Yeah. I think I see him actually fighting him more than defending him. Because like I said, it's like the first Phoenix. Right games. This court is now adjourned. End of the first case. That was a long first case. Now the happy ending of the first part. Day blossoms. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, can I have done it without you? Thank you, Kazuya. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sakiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. Our hard work has certainly paid off. The female? Yes. Okay. Yeah, normally the first case is a lot shorter. This was a long one. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhado-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. I see you get canned, yeah. I can't wait to see the rest of the endings for all the other characters too. They're all going to be kind of nutty like that. Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Yes, of course. With her and Achi. Poor Achi. And every version of Achi, or every version of him in every Phoenix Wright game is like old and balding. Forgive me for intruding on the court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sada Mikatoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Speaking of Mikatoba. Ah, there you are, I believe. Congratulations are in order. Naruhado, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it was I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. She sucks. Yep, he doesn't do too well later on. None of his ancestors do. Good friend. Oh, yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikatoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you work together? Never heard of you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago. Besides. It's your turn, Thuggy. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. Science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asagi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. Sleep happily? That's good to hear. I'm gonna sleep happily too. It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what happened to the woman? To Jazio Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She'll be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. I say call it Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Apparently not going to jail. Jazio Brett will not appear in court again in this country, I'm certain of that. What? But why not? Someone's talking. It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, there he is. The duck? Dr. Hasanaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. Must congratulate. But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. Why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past, now that we've signed the friendship treaty. She doesn't exactly get to leave, she's just going to be tried in her own country. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Yep. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? There's something else. She'll be arrested no matter what. Yeah, she knew she can get away with it. She doesn't want to go through the whole process, probably. Something strange is going on. Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that's for the young student. Today's trial is nothing more than a game, all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. We can make it change. This is the time of great turmoil. This new era, heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. It's no jail time. Yeah, she must really convince the judge. Upper Swan flies her off into the sea. So skeevy. Yep. This even calls for celebratory drinks. The only person that could have gotten hurt in this whole trial was my character, Ryanosuke. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryanosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnaval? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hasanaga-san, aren't you? Yeah, she didn't even have to make a scheme then. No point in it, but I guess she just wanted to get away completely. Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival. Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhata-san's release. Oh, yes. Thank you. The Jazia Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuya. And he had a heart attack or something. She could have, yeah. Didn't have to frame someone. It's the fact that she framed someone that actually ended up putting her under suspect. Yes, Ryunosuke? Just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. They say most criminals make mistakes like that, so I guess it's just happened. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? The defense was all your own work. She didn't have to, but she did. Skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious. Yeah. Could have been easily done. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean? That's the point. Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. Believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believe in me when I said I didn't do it? Words. I'm human just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. Yeah, I love that about his headscarf. You have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience. But you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuya. There's something I want to ask you, actually. Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hasanaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study towards the Great Britain, don't forget. Ah yes, that too. Alright, I think that ends. First trial. My very first trial came to an end. That's because I've been playing a lot of Kazuya in Smash. And so just the name Kazuya is kind of stuck in my head. He didn't really play much of a part, but still, he played a big part. Yeah, sleepy time. Yeah. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. More importantly, Kazuya hadn't managed to ask his favor of me. Yet Kazuya is like... he's a really buff dude, ripped, that's in Smash now, and I love playing his character. Little did I realize how much it would change my life. Uh-oh, what did he ask? And part 1 is done. Normally there's 5 to 6 parts in a game. That was the first case. Wow. The only problem with these games, though, is it has very little replay value. Because the next time you play it, you already know what's going to happen. But alright. We're going to be on episode 2, The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. What did he ask? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. That'll never get old. Alright, I think that's it. Thank y'all for watching. I'm glad we finally got through that first episode. But y'all have a good night and take care.